All right. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Sabo. Pick it off here, and forgive me, I'm just adjusting the settings here for a moment. All right. Hopefully everyone can see me. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Sabo, CEO of Jomar Life Research, Australia's leading distributor of kits and reagents for biomedical research. I think we'd all agree that there's never been a time in history where as much of the world's biomedical research community has simultaneously attacked one problem. Because of the rapid progression of the COVID-19 pandemic and large number of researchers joining the fight, Jomar has received many inquiries about reagents that may be useful to researchers in your work. The variety of these reagents is changing literally every day as suppliers create new products, and it may be difficult to find these products, determine which ones are reliable, and how quickly they can be sourced using a simple Google search. To assist you in cutting through the noise, we're launching this series of short videos that we're calling our bite-sized bioproduct briefings that review what we feel are the most useful products for you in your research. In addition to saving you time searching, we're hoping that this information will spare you uncertainty about product performance by specifically pointing you towards the most reliable suppliers. And finally, because we know your time away from the bench is especially precious at the moment, our goal is to present this information very rapidly, typically targeting 10 minutes on each topic. So just a word on the protocol here. Most of you are already probably more familiar than you'd like to be with Zoom, so I won't go into the details of how it works. But I would like to point out that while I'm presenting, our outstanding team of product managers will be available to respond to any questions that you may have in real time. If you'd like to ask a question, just click on the Q&A button at the top, and we'll open a dialog box. We'll also stay on the line following the webinar if there are any other issues you'd like help with, or we can call you directly if you prefer. Now let me just quickly check my function here and make sure that this is going okay. I think it is. And so the first question I'd like to address is one that we're receiving quite often from customers. One of the common questions is, what is a good source for COVID-19 proteins and antibodies? In a nutshell, our #1 pick would be the company Sino Biological. Sino is actually the first company in the world to produce recombinant proteins of SARS-CoV-2 on January 22nd, only 12 days after the sequence was published, and they've already developed a sizable catalog of COVID-19 reagents. Sino Biological is also one of what we call our 5-star suppliers at Jomar. This means that they fulfill 5 specific criteria to ensure that the products and their business meet certain standards. These are, #1, that they provide a strong package of relevant validation data for all products. 2, their manufacturing site and operations have been passed an inspection by Jomar. And in this case, I visited their facility personally and can tell you that they had one of the most impressive facilities I've seen, with extensive, sophisticated fermentation and purification equipment and rigorous quality control processes. The third factor is that it must have a low history of quality issues, such as customers reporting reagents not working. And in Sino's case, we actually have had 0 product performance reports since we began representing them several years ago. They have to offer a minimum performance guarantee. And #5, they must maintain adequate stock quantities for rapid fulfillment of orders. Let me just pause for a status check. Let's see, should be, so I'm not sure, bear with me just a second. For some reason, I'm being told that by someone that you may not be able to see my slides. So bear with me just one moment. All right, and slideshow. So bear with me while I do this. And share screen. Okay, hopefully this will be better with just a moment here. Sorry about that, guys, if you weren't able to follow what I was saying. And share screen. All right, hopefully that is better. Are you able to see my slides now, I hope?
Yes, Alex, we can see them.
All right, thanks Daniel for clarifying there. All right, so hopefully you haven't lost too much. Now, bear with me a second as I go back here. All right. Okay, so just getting into the details, the protein which has attracted the most interest initially is the viral spike protein, which, as you know, binds to ACE2 in order for the virus to adhere to and enter target cells. S protein is a trimer of subunits S1, which interfaces with ACE2, and S2. Sino has already made available the intact S protein, the S1 subunit trimer, as well as the S protein receptor binding domain. And all of these proteins are available with several different, bear with us, yeah, several different tags for to facilitate easy capture, and they're expressed in different expression systems. Now, as I mentioned, Sino Biological produces an excellent package of data validating each product. In this case, this is the package for the S1 receptor binding domain, demonstrating that more than 95% purity by SDS page, as well as by HPLC in the upper panels, and in the lower panels, demonstrating functional binding to ACE2 by Bioproduct and by ELISA. And these results are consistent with reports in the scientific literature. In addition to the components of the spike protein directly involved in cell binding, Sino is available a number of other useful tools, including the S2 extracellular domain, the nucleocapsid, and the papain-like protease. All of these are available with tags, once again, for convenient capture. And additionally, Sino offers various forms of ACE2, including human, mouse, rat, and rhesus. And once again, these are each available with different tag forms to facilitate your studies. All of these proteins are available at high purity, typically at least 90%, if not 95%. And proteins are usually supplied lyophilized, giving them excellent stability of at least 1 year. They're all tested to exclude contamination with endotoxin, and Sino Biological standard pack size is 100 micrograms. Now, Sino Biological is also an excellent source for SARS-CoV-2 antibodies, and they've already developed a range of antibodies against the N and S proteins and various subdomains. These antibodies consist of different types, including mouse monoclonals, rabbit monoclonals, polyclonals, and even chimeric monoclonal antibodies consisting of the mouse complementary determining region fused to human FC. And if, in case you happen to be wondering how Sino managed to develop these antibodies so quickly, most of them were originally developed using SARS-CoV-1 proteins as immunogens, and then they were identified as cross-reacting or preferentially reacting with CoV-2 by screening. These antibodies have typically been validated using in various methods, including Western blots, immunofluorescence, and immunohistochemistry. Another product that you may require in your studies is a SARS-CoV-2 ELISA. These kits employ a standard ELISA format, allowing rapid quantification of the N and S antigens. And all proteins, all antibodies used in the kits are in-house developed monoclonals, ensuring batch-to-batch consistency. These assays may be used to quantify antigens on the surface of SARS-CoV-2 and or pseudovirus, as well as antigens expressed recombinantly. In addition, Sino makes available antibody pairs for most of these kits in case you just want to buy these rather than the entire kit. One other related product that you might find useful in your work is Sino's inhibitor screening kit for detection of neutralizing antibodies in samples. The principle of this kit is essentially a competitive ELISA. So any SARS-CoV-2 inhibitor in the samples competes with ACE2 protein for binding with immobilized SARS-CoV-2 receptor binding domain. And the signal leads to a decrease in color along with increasing competitor present in the sample. Lastly, I'd like to call your attention to one final innovative product. This is Sino Biological's SinoImmune Array. This is a multiplex assay platform for high throughput serological studies. These arrays are produced by printing recombinant proteins from coronavirus, as well along with other virus types on a nitrocellulose coated slide. Each slide contains 16 arrays for analysis of individual sample. The arrays consist of hundreds of antigen spots arranged in a grid. These arrays are designed to determine the antibody profile in serum samples as an example to monitor the changes over time or under different circumstances. And the figure on the right shows a result from a recent study in Bioproduct IV demonstrating a particular signature in a heat map that corresponds to samples from convalescent patients. Okay, that is it. As I said, it's very much a bite-sized bio briefing. In closing, I just wanted to pass on, make a comment and pass on my congratulations and, in fact, my thanks on behalf of my staff here at Jomar and really on behalf of all Australians for the work you researchers are doing to end the COVID pandemic. I think everyone in Australia is excited about the impact that social distancing has had in slowing the spread of the disease, but we all understand that the end of the pandemic will ultimately only come as a result of discoveries you and other researchers will make to understand the virus and to develop treatments or vaccines. In this epic battle, you immunologists, virologists, and other researchers are really the world's true superheroes. So it's with that thought in mind that we had the idea to create the t-shirts you see illustrated here. If you'd like to, you can have one of these entirely free. There's no purchase necessary. Just email us your details and we'll send you one. And please feel free to tell any of your colleagues at all about this webinar, and we're glad to send them one as well. All right, okay, thank you for your attention. I'd like to remind you that Jomar offers Australia's lowest prices and fastest delivery on Sino Biological products, even lower than purchasing directly from Sino Biological itself. So if you choose to purchase any of these items or any other COVID-19 research products, I hope you'll come to us. We'll now open it up for any questions that you may have. Also, I'd like to let you know that momentarily we're going to be posting a short poll to help us prepare for future webinars. So if you don't mind taking 15 seconds or so to respond to that, we would be grateful. Thanks once again for your attention.
Hey, Alex, you had one question directed at you. Hi, Alex. Is there a reason Sino doesn't have ELISA kits that detect IgG or IgM?
That don't specifically detect IgG or IgM. I don't know why they haven't come out with that product as yet specifically, but those, we can find other sources for those products for you if you wish. I hope that answers the question. Please contact us offline if you're interested in that, because we do have other suppliers that are offering that. And I'll now turn it on over to our host, Daniel, who is our viral virus research products product manager. Daniel, if you have any other, if there are any other questions that we want to address, feel free to comment on those.
Okay, we don't currently have any other questions at the moment. I'm currently running the poll, so if you could just take 10 seconds of your time and answer the poll, we would greatly appreciate it. And please email us directly with any questions or any application-specific requests to our email address that Alex has on the slide right there.
Okay. All right, is there a further question there? Yeah, I just got one. Okay, if there are no other questions, we might go ahead and, how good are you with, question?
Alex,
Yeah.
It's Sarah here. You have another question.
Yeah.
How good are you with lead times on products? Perhaps Craig, you could answer this one for the attendee.
So we have on the line Craig Andrews, who is what we call our customer satisfaction officer. Craig, if you'd like to chat with that, respond to that one, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so our lead time for Sino Biological products is around about 2 to 4 weeks. As you can understand, there's been a few delays with global logistics, but we are tracking our items and getting them through from China through to us through Australian customs as soon as possible. And our awesome team members here are also happy to give ETAs on a daily to weekly basis to ensure that you know that we're tracking your products and getting it into your lab as soon as possible. We're also doing double checks for each lab that we're sending products to ensure that if for some reason or another if your lab happens to close down due to an isolation incident, we'll hold on to your products until your lab is able to reopen.
Thank you, Craig. And just to elaborate on that, the normal turnaround for Sino Biological products is 1 to 2 weeks. The big challenge that we're facing at present is that there certainly are delays in international shipping due to the pandemic. And in some cases, although Sino Biological is excellent at stocking large quantities of products, there is at present significant demand for certain products. And so in some cases, some particular products are delayed. But as Craig mentions, we will make every effort to make you aware of that so that you're not inconvenienced.
There's
Yeah,
no
Alex,
more
I think
questions.
that's all the questions we have.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, participants, once again. And if you do have any follow-up questions, please contact us at info@jlresearch.com.au or at the phone number that's listed there. We'd be delighted to assist you. Thank you.